Hi, this is Black Com Warning to give a postscript on my video on uh, blacks that are, post-military veterans. Okay, one thing that I didn't mention was about the mental health. Okay, when you prepare for your exit um, out of the military, again, you want to make sure that you have some resources behind you so that you have a place to live. Also, um, with the job market not very viable in the Black community, okay, um, you get on a lot of stress and you may need a mental health provider. One thing with the military, they do have mental health facilities at the VA hospitals. However, we are underrepresented as to provide Black mental health providers, such as psychiatrists and psychologists. So here you're going to most likely going to be talking to either a white man or a white woman. And so this could be problematic for some of us. You want someone that could um, have some type of understanding about you as a Black person. Okay, one thing I did notice in uh, the VA system and Black mental health providers is that many Black health providers are stressed out themselves. That they're usually like the only one, if they're in a white institution, they're like the only ones. Um, they act very stressed out, um, and they're not very um, compassionate to their fellow Black. I think this is all again due to stress and for them to be targeted on the job. That they know that they just, they may feel that they're just a token at that particular job, and they may take it out on the Black that comes in. You know, I also remember this. She might be she could have been a psychiatrist, and again, this is very rare to have. She was a Black female, uh, middle age, and she shared with me that the when you go through your MD rotations, that they discourage Blacks to go into training in mental health. I think that is a red flag. It's not. It's all by design. It's not by chance that there's no American Black as psychiatrists, but very few number. And the reason why they don't want us to help one another, and by just having whites and not including Asians in the psychiatry film or psychiatrist um, film, um, uh, occupation, that we're becoming disconnected from each other as blacks. You know, so everybody knows about our health, but our own, and that this is very concerning. This I feel is by design to um, force us to go under medications. Many of these medications have very serious side effects. It makes you gain weight, and then they don't tell you that it could make you gain weight, and then you're wondering, as a Black person, why am I gaining so much weight? I never had this problem before. You may say to yourself, well, they the healthcare provider failed to tell you that this medication causes or can cause or could cause weight gain. Okay, so they should tell you ahead of time uh, how what the possible side effects of this medication could be, and if this could be a side effect, or how to prevent, anything else that you can take or do to prevent this weight gain. Okay, because weight gain can cause a whole new series of problems like diabetes, cardiovascular disease, etc. Okay, so again, with not having uh, Black mental health providers, we become disillusioned. We fall under depression many times, and then we fall into drugs because um, the current system isn't helping us. You know. Then you have I had gone to this one vet center, not the VA hospital, but it's a vet center in New York City, and I found it to be very problematic. Uh, it's a location that that's catered to Black people. They do have Black social workers there, but there's a lot of infighting. You had a person who was it's short, she's a secretary. She handles, she's there to handle the phones, to uh, file stuff away. But because her title is office manager, everybody else there um, is a social worker. She doesn't want to answer the phone, and then the backbiting and they were she she had the power somehow to force the only female black female working there as a social worker to have to answer the phone while she's dealing with the client. This was very unprofessional, I thought, and very catty. And here you have so many people who are in pain and so you're going in and you sense the tension, and it just doesn't sit right. Also, you had at this particular vet center, um, the offices are right next to each other, but there's an opening in the wall, and so the, let's say there's someone at a session next to you, the cubicle next, you can hear everything and you hear these outbursts. You hear these veterans who are in such emotional distress, and I don't think they know that they're being heard. In the cubicle next to them, you hear everything, and I start to say to myself, "Oh my goodness, could they hear what I'm saying to the person, the social worker I'm talking to?" So I thought it was real tacky that they're going to have something for for blacks in this black neighborhood, but then not have the confidentiality. And the business is right out there. I thought it was real tacky. And then on another occasion, we had someone who they had like donuts and coffee set up, but they were stale donuts. And how I found out there was one particular male veteran, and he looked like he was really down, on his luck, um, homeless looking. He looked extremely disheveled. You would just assume he's a drug addict on the street, a homeless drug person, and his behavior was a little peculiar. And he noticed the sweets on the table, and he inquired to if he could have one. And the lady, the same office manager, is allowing him to eat the donuts, and then she signals to me that they're stale donuts. So, I mean, I'm glad she told me that they were stale, but not to tell the guy who's really down on his luck and to allow him to eat the stale donuts. I said, that's a no-no. You know, uh, us veterans, we do like our sweets, and you should at least provide. You're gonna go to a vet center. You better have fresh coffee, tea, and sweets there. Don't have a veteran who risked their life to eat stale donuts. So that I know I might be getting off the track here, but these are some of the things that one could occur going to a vet center in New York City. That you have different styles, and you have some people that they might have different motives who work there. You have people who may push a particular philosophy, uh, into the session, the counseling session, and it's really an indoctrination. So if you're not prepared for this indoctrination, you could be going into something for one thing, but the people working there could have another agenda. So we have to be careful. We need a community that we could work together so that when blacks do come home from the military, that our emotional needs are being taken care of through these vet centers that are sensitive, that provide fresh food and beverage, that when you go into a center that it's private, that people aren't listening to your conversation and your business is out there, you know. So these things should be looked into. And please let me know what your thoughts, your comments on the subject matter of what happens to the black when we get home from the military and how we uh, transition back into civilian life and the things that we have to be concerned about with regard to our mental and financial health. Take care.